AI tools available in the market, as I just covered, and they are not capable of generating the applications as per the MuleSoft ecosystem and control how the applications are created and maintained, about the surety of the data, whether it will be secured, or about the privacy of the data. And the AI tools which are available in the market are more into creation and not into reusability or discoverability, which is the primary purpose of MuleSoft. As we have our exchange, which is promoting the publishing part and reusability, discoverability, the AI tool does not support us to reuse that and discover instead of that. And it doesn't sit well with the existing IT ecosystem. Next is, what's the real problem that the current MuleSoft teams are facing? We have growing demands, means we have more APIs, more integrations. The data sources are growing at the pace we as a developer or MuleSoft developers are unable to keep up with. Either we have same number of developers or fewer developers. So what's the solution? There are few of the steps which are repetitive and which can be automated without hampering the developers or the jobs of developers, as everyone is more focused about. So, what are the repetitive tasks? Scaffolding or MuleSoft projects. This is not going to change. Whatever project you are working on, the method to scaffold MuleSoft project is the same. It's not a strategic decision that the developer have to make. Second is writing repetitive data weave. There are some databases that we have to rewrite or which are standard, and configuring connectors. Then debugging boilerplate issues. Whenever we are creating the project from scratch, there are few of the issues then that we get, and the solution is pretty much very basic. So using this, these are the repetitive tasks, and searching docs for known info. So integration complexity is outpacing team capacity. That's the thing. These are the repetitive tasks that can be automated via our MuleSoft Vibe. And the main advantage is, with MuleSoft Vibe, it is the proprietary of MuleSoft and MuleSoft context aware. That the same steps you don't have to follow in other AI tools. So now let's talk about MuleSoft Vibe. What MuleSoft Vibes can provide you. It is MuleSoft's enterprise AI development assistance built directly into ACV and allows you all the things like describe intent in natural language, which means the way we communicate to each other, in the same way we can communicate to the dev agent, and it will be able to generate the EPA specification. Now that if you have seen the latest update from MuleSoft, now we can also create units with it. We can deploy our applications. We can also create custom policies, and this is all mule aware plans and codes we can execute inside our own IDE. And the IDE which is supported by MuleSoft for MuleSoft Dev Agent or Vibes is ACB, Anypoint Code Builder. And this is not, you must be wondering, this is not a chat GPT pasted into ACB. Okay, it is context aware. It is platform integrated. Any other tool is not integrated to the MuleSoft platform directly. And the main difference from the other tools and our MuleSoft Vibes is that the other tool will be requiring the external subscription. MuleSoft is providing unmetered access to all the Vibes generative capabilities at no additional cost. Means no credit card required. You don't need that. No credits. MuleSoft is providing frictionless access to all the Anypoint platform customers. Just install the ACB. And this ACB extension can be installed in the VS Code, and you just need to connect this to your Salesforce organization, and you're good to go. Nothing else to be done. So with MuleSoft Vibes, you can simply describe your API purpose behind the scene. API purpose means the intent, what you have to be required as the output, and data mappings so that it can create the data weave for you, and the security requirements in natural language. So within minutes, Vibe can generate the EPA specification, it can build flows for you, apply configurations, policies, and even deploy the application. So there are three main pillars, okay, for MuleSoft Vibes, which is speed, intelligence, and productivity. Means, wait. So yeah, first is speed. As you know, every other tool in the market, whether it is ChatGPT, Gemini, or Cursor, Claude, anything, it is after speed. But what about the accuracy? So MuleSoft Vibe is also taking care about that. It has intelligence behind the scene. It is using MCP that I will cover in the next few slides. And the productivity, because we are automating so many repetitive tasks, it is in a way improving the productivity. So, what are the key capabilities of MuleSoft Vibes? Let's be clear, Vibes is not just a chatbot inside our studio or ACB. So it is deeply aware about MuleSoft. And first is context aware MuleSoft assistance, means it knows MuleSoft 4 version, it knows about API led architecture, it knows about the connectivity. That means you are not explaining the basics every time. It is saving your efforts. Second is the architecture and design reasoning. So one of the strongest capabilities of Vibes is reasoning before the building. We have two modes in MuleSoft Vibes, which is plan and act, covering in the next slide. So, talking about plan, we can propose architecture diagrams. It can be done using MuleSoft Vibe. It can highlight trade-offs, which one is better than the other. It can suggest alternatives based on constraints. So this is especially specifically powerful in plan mode. Okay, whenever the focus is on decisions and not syntax, MuleSoft Vibe in the plan mode is not going to touch anything in the configuration in the platform. It will only show you the plan that can be executed in the next step. And if you want to change any step, it can be done in this step only. Second is the act mode, which is covered in the code and flow generation. So in act mode, Vibe shifts from thinking to execution, means it can generate mule flows, configure connectors, error handling the way you want to do, and reduce repetitive boilerplate work that no one wants to do, to be honest. And this directly improves the developer's speed, but only if the earlier design is solid, means only if the plan phase is done well. And next is exchange and asset awareness. This is very big differentiator among other generic AI tools. As I said, we can reuse our assets, and that's the power of MuleSoft. Vibes can reference existing APIs. It can reuse the fragments and also align with the organizational standards. That means less reinventing and more consistency. Now, there are four phases of MuleSoft Vibes, which is design, develop, manage, and operate like any other tool has. Now, the design phase is mainly taken care by the architects. What the architects can do, they can create the architecture and the basic plan. In the design phase, whatever we do in the Anypoint platform design center can be done in here. We have the develop phase, mainly taken care by the developers. We have to create the APIs and manage them. If you want to publish any API to exchange policies, anything that can be done in the develop phase. Next is the manage. Whatever we see in the API manager, means to apply policy, to create SLA. These kind of things can be done and are responsible. Mainly the task. These are the tasks of admins. Can also be done behind the hood with the MuleSoft Vibes. Next is operate. So mainly operations team are responsible for the operate task. If any API is deployed on the production or in any environment, we want to debug it, we want to troubleshoot it. So that can also be done with MuleSoft Vibes. First phase design, as I said, whatever they are in the design center, means if you want to create a raml, if you want to create a fragment, that can be done. If you want to secure it or create traits and apply this, all the things can be done with MuleSoft by just providing the prompt, and in the single UI it can be done. Now the develop. With the develop phase, Vibe can create and modify the APIs. It can have the integrations with other tools using using MCP servers. just by providing the natural language. And here's the important part. Um, in MuleSoft Vibe or in Dev Agent, we can have our own MCP servers. We can use MCP servers from the marketplace as well. There are so many available. We will show you in the demo. So bear with us. Next is manage. So all the policies can be applied using the prompts, using the Vibe ACB tool, ACB Studio, that can be done. And if we want to create any custom policy, that can also be done, that can also be managed. Now comes the operate part. We can create instances of our APIs and we can troubleshoot it. We can fetch the details in our dev agent and debug it. Now, these are the things that can be done by each of the roles. Like, for example, admins. What the admin can do using MuleSoft Vibe? It can find and publish assets. It can reuse the metrics because we can fetch the metrics, right? And we can create and apply policies. What an architect can do? They can create the application blueprint definition, or they can optimize the architecture. Developer can create the EPA specification, means the YAML, and now they can also create M units. They can read and edit the files. Now the operations, they can deploy and test. They can fetch the platform insights. They can troubleshoot. There is nothing that they cannot do. It is not perfect, but it is still usable. Now this is the most important concept to understand before using Vibes. Seriously, the problem is one big reason people feel Vibes give inconsistent results is because they don't realize it works in two different ways. It works in plan mode and it works in act mode. Now, plan mode is where the Vibe behaves like an architect or senior reviewer. What it can do, it does not write or modify code. It does not touch the configuration and do anything. It doesn't touch the platform. It focuses on understanding the requirement and it reasons about platform patterns, trade-offs and risk. This is the step where you can make changes according to your requirement. This is the step where you should design the EPL architecture, and you should decide whether you want a retry mechanism or you want a DLQ strategy. And you can also validate the error handling approaches that it is going to execute next. And you can also review security or performances implications. So if you skip this mode, then you are basically going to ask the Vibe that just give me the code without thinking, and it will give you, but the code will just burn your mind. Yeah. Next is the act mode. Act mode is where the Vibe becomes a hands-on friend, a hands-on Mule developer. It will create flows for you. It will create the YAML for you. It will create the connector configuration. It will also reference the exchange assets if there is any that already exists, and it applies the MuleSoft best practices directly. So don't jump into the act mode. First plan and then act, as we really do. Now comes. Let's be very clear that this is different. Why this is different from the generic AI tools? Now, generic AI does not understand artifacts. That generic tool does not understand the platform constraints, and that does not produce syntactically valid but conceptually wrong code. We have to accept that. Now, what Vibe can do? It gives us the grounded in MuleSoft context response. It uses MuleSoft specific patterns and it is validated by MuleSoft AI quality pipeline. That is very important. So, according to MuleSoft, what MuleSoft claims is Vibe achieves roughly 90% syntactic validity and around 80% correctness. But yeah, we understand that is not perfect, but still usable acceleration and not noise. That still can be used to boost our performances. We have to accept that. Now, can we really trust what AI creates? That's a big question. So that's where the MuleSoft AI quality pipeline comes in, where MuleSoft AI quality pipeline is actually measuring how well the AI is returning the response. So every time AI generates an integration or flow configuration, the AI quality pipeline is quietly working in the background, and it checks if the output follows MuleSoft best practices, it is meeting the security criteria, or it is meeting the governance standards, and actually what it is supposed to do. So think of it as a smart safety net. It lets developer move quickly with AI without worrying about breaking something or introducing risk. Means we always know that there is something that has our back. We don't have to worry. So that's the real value of MuleSoft Vibes. It provides us speed and trust. Now, what is under the hood of MuleSoft Vibes? How it is returning, how it is providing us such value? The answer is MCP. Again, a next buzzword. So yeah, as you know, MCP is not a MuleSoft specific tool or strategy. It is a standardized way, okay, for AI agents to securely interact with tool and platforms, and not just MuleSoft specific tools. It is also helping us to interact with the outside tools available in the market. So, in MuleSoft case, MCP allows Vibes to understand APIs, schemas, flows, and connectors. It defines what agent can and cannot do. It also enforces boundaries and safety. So you must be having a question: can we have our own LLM with the MuleSoft Vibes? So the answer is no. Right now we don't have that in place, but maybe in future. So, if the LLM is the brain, MCP is the nervous system connecting it safely to MuleSoft. What if we don't have the brain? Yep. So, without MCP, Vibes would just generate text. That's so boring. And with MCP, it can reason using real platform context. That's what we really want. Now, let's move on to the demo part. And before covering the demo, we want to cover what all are the prerequisites, so we can actually do the hands-on. First is we have to set up the web or desktop IDE. The IDE is basically we have to install our VS Code, and there is an extension to connect to ACB, Anypoint Code Builder. So the extension name is Anypoint Extension Pack. Very simple. Next is get Anypoint Code Builder permissions. So these are the permissions, very important permissions that you have to provide in the platform. Then Anypoint permissions regarding Vibes. So there are a few permissions, like to use the dev agent, you have to provide MuleSoft developer generative AI user permission to your user or to the user group. You can also create teams in the Anypoint platform. There you can assign this role to the team as well. And also, you have to check, you have to ensure that Einstein is enabled in the access management. Yeah, so these are just few prerequisites that you have to taken care of, and you are good to go. Now I think we are ready to see the demo. Nathan, are you there?
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have access to share the screen. Could you please provide me the access?
Yeah, sure. Can you check now? I think I have to unshare. Yeah, now you should have.
Yes, yeah, I have the access.
uh, Good.
I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So Anjali already explained the prerequisites, right? And how we can use like MuleSoft Dev Agent. So I'm using like Visual Studio Code, and in Visual Studio Code, I have already installed that Anypoint extension pack. And after installing that Anypoint extension pack, I have logged into my like Anypoint platform trial account. And once you like install Anypoint extension pack and you log in into your Anypoint platform trial account, you will be able to see a MuleSoft Dev Agent option enabled in Visual Studio Code. But as Anjali explained, some prerequisites, right? So you should have one like Salesforce trial agent force trial account also, and you should create one Salesforce org there, and that org should be connected to your MuleSoft Anypoint platform trial account. Once that org is connected to MuleSoft Anypoint platform trial account and Einstein is enabled, you will be able to see this MuleSoft Dev Agent icon in your Visual Studio Code after logging in into your trial account. So this is how this UI for MuleSoft Dev Agent looks, right? So I will explain the UI and then maybe we can proceed for the demo. So yeah, first things first, you are seeing right this MCP servers, right? So there are two MCP servers active. So yeah, once you log into MuleSoft Dev Agent, by default, MuleSoft provide this MuleSoft MCP server. It comes like automatically configured with Dev Agent, and yeah, this Google Calendar MCP server, this I have installed from Marketplace, right? So Anjali was explaining we can also use other platforms and tools as MCP servers and Dev Agent. So this one has been like installed and enabled by me from Marketplace, and this MuleSoft MCP server comes like by default with Dev Agent. So when you go to this section, right, MCP servers, this is the Marketplace. So here you can find different kind of public MCP servers available. You can also find like Atlassian Jira MCP server also. So if you configure this Atlassian MCP server, you will be able to interact with Jira and the provided like tools of Atlassian with your Dev Agent itself. You can also connect like remote MCP servers here. You can provide the details and you will be able to connect. So and in installed section, you are seeing these two MuleSoft like these two MCP servers, right? One is for Google Calendar and the other one is for MuleSoft MCP server. So yeah, under the hood, Dev Agent is using this MuleSoft MCP server whenever we are giving any prompt related to MuleSoft. Whenever we want to create a project, we want to generate some code, right? So you see a lot of tools, around 41 tools are available for create Mule project, generating Mule flow. So like a lot of tools are there. You can go and explore the available tools. And similarly, like if you install other available MCP servers, they also have some tools under the hood, which will be helpful when you want to give some prompt and you want to perform some action, right? So this is like MCP server sections, and apart from this, we also have this add context option where you can provide context to the Dev Agent, and then yeah, MCP server we already saw, and then there is another section called rules and workflows. So let's say you want to add, you want to provide some rules, right? Whatever code you are generating, right, in MuleSoft, you want to enforce some rules so that Dev Agent follow those rules for generating the code, because you want to ensure the quality, right? And you also want to enforce some strict rules so that the agent is not hallucinating, right? It is not generating by itself. You are also providing some rules. So I have already provided some rules in this Mule global rules txt file. So there are like 2 3 options. You can also provide md file, but I have provided like txt file. So I have like provided some options like what should be the like name of system API, process API, experience API, right? What are the required files whenever I'm trying to generate a MuleSoft project? What files should be there, right? What should be the naming convention for flow, subflow, right? And like so on. So like I have provided some rules so that it applies those rules on the code which I am trying to generate via prompts. So how the configuration files structure should look like, right? How many files it should has, and how a minute files naming convention should be there. I also want to enforce that okay, it should use like Java version 17 only, and the dependencies which it should use, they should be Java 17 compatible. And I have also provided like Mule runtime, what Mule runtime I want to use, and Maven version also. So these are some rules which I found like we should provide the agent to generate the better code. So yeah, this is there. So this was the like UI section of MuleSoft Vibe. So maybe we can start generating something, right? So I have a prompt already. Okay. So as Anjali explained, right, in the slides, we have two modes. So one is plan mode and the other is action mode. If I provide the prompt and I am in act mode and I click, agent will start performing the actions. But if I want to see what agent will do, right, on this particular prompt, what like plan agent is creating and how it will achieve the goal, right? So I'm saying, okay, build a mule for employee management system API using full API lifecycle, design YAML first and then implement it. Follow the rule set already configured. So I want to enforce my rule set, which I have already provided. I'm also providing a project location. Okay, here you should create the MuleSoft project. I'm giving some rough idea about my RAML requirements also, that okay, this is how my like RAML should look like. It should have some CRUD endpoints, right? Get, post, put, delete. And I have also given some idea about employee type, right? Okay, this is how my employee object structure should look like. For the implementation, I have provided, okay, add a simple health check endpoint also, implement full CRUD end to end, but don't use any database. I don't want to make it complex for now. Just keep like API endpoints very simple and return these kind of responses. So if let's say I go to plan mode and I enter, right, we will be able to see what agent is thinking, right, and how agent will like implement the actions. What is the plan which agent has created. So I can see that there's already employee. Let me analyze the current structure to understand that exists. No. Okay, so it is saying, because I already have one employee related API, so it is saying it is already seeing this like another already existing employee data system API. No, that is employee. I'm just explaining it. That is employee data system API. Employee management system API. Okay. So let's see. Okay, I understand now. You want to create a new employee management system here, because in the folder, if you go, there is already one API called employee data system API, right? So it is thinking, okay, the employee related system API is already there. Why we are creating? So I understand now. You want to create a new employee management system API separate from the existing employee data sys project. Let me clarify a few details to ensure I create the correct solution. What should be the name of the new employee management system API project based on the MuleSoft rules? So yeah, now it has started reading our rules also, right? So it is asking us what should be the name, right? If we are not using the plan mode, right? If we are in act mode and we just provide the prompt, we enter, it will start like performing actions. It will make decisions by its own. It will not ask these kinds of questions. But as we are in plan mode, we are doing the planning with the agent. So it is asking, okay, as per the rules, what should be the name which I should give it to the API. So let's say we are saying, okay, give employee management sys. So now again, it will start creating the plan. Yeah. So it is processing the request. Okay, here is the plan, right? So it is saying for creating the new employee management system API, named employee. So whatever name we chose, right? Yeah, so it is taking those. So it is saying like it will design our ML specification first. Yeah, detailed implementation plan it is giving. So let's wait, then I will explain. Yeah. So whatever we gave in prompt, right? Perfect. I understand you want to create a new API, system API. Okay, detailed implementation plan. As we gave in prompt, right? We want to follow design first approach. So it is saying it will design our ML, and it is considering our instructions which we gave in prompt, right? Okay, it will have these endpoints. It will provide some response codes also as per prompt, right? Then it will do project scaffolding. Location also it is telling, okay, it will use the same location which we mentioned, right, under Mule Vibes. And then it is saying it will use Mule Runtime 4.8.0 and Java 17 as per rule set. If we would not have configured our rule set, right, then it would have taken the Java version and Mule runtime by its own. Maybe it will take latest runtime version 4.9, and Java also, maybe it might take Java 17 also. Required XML file also it is understanding, okay, from MuleSoft rules, these are the files which should be there in the project structure, so it will create those files also. Okay, it is saying configuration files are also needed, it will create these configuration files. Then it will go in the implementation mode, right? It will create, yeah, because I have mentioned don't use any DB or something. It is saying it will use mule variables or object store for temporary data storage, right? No database integration as requested, simple CRUD operations. Then it is saying flow implementation name also, then testing, and then documentation. So this is the like detailed plan which it has created. And also in the end I have given that ensure mail artifact.json and other things are like validated as per rule set. So now it is saying, okay, I have created the detailed plan with your requirements. The implementation will be simple but follow all MuleSoft best practices. Now can you enable act mode? So once I enable act mode, like it will start implementing the plan. Yeah, so you see it has started generating the RAML, right? So it is creating the RAML which it explained in the plan and as per our prompt. Yeah. So let's save it, then it will go for the next action. So this, you see this option, right? Auto approve enabled. If I check mark it, then it will, like it will not ask for any approval. It will be automatically doing the approvals and it will be automatically generating. But for now I have not checked it, so every time I have to approve the request because I want to see, okay, what it is doing, and I want to show you like what it is doing. So now, okay, it is saying perfect, the RAML specification has been created. Now I will use the MuleSoft MCP tool to scaffold the Mule project from this RAML specification. Okay. Okay, I think it is searching in Anypoint Exchange, but this RAML is not there, right? In Anypoint Exchange, it is in our local folder only for now. So okay, then you tool had an issue implementing from the RAML. Let me create the Mule project structure manually following the MuleSoft rule. I will start by creating the project directory and basic structure. So let's go. Yeah, so the structure is already there, right? So the API structure is already there, and yeah, so the RAML file it has created, but it has created like outside the project, right? So this is our API employee management system. It has created the RAML, but it is outside it, and that's why when it is scaffolding, it is searching any point exchange for this particular RAML, but it is not there, right? It is in our local system only. So I'm just explaining it. The API structure is already there, and uh, so you can just create RAML and then generate flows. So either it will identify, it will detect the RAML that okay, it is outside the folder, it will place the folder inside the like, perfect location, or it will create the like RAML inside the folder only. I understand, let me first move the YAML file, right? So as I told, so it will automatically understand, okay, the structure is there. So it is saying, okay, let me first move the YAML file to the correct location because it generated outside the existing project, right? And then it will use MCP tool to generate the flows from the API specification. So you see, it is trying to move the YAML file. Yeah. So now, okay, it is saying MCP wants to use generate mule flow, right? So it wants to use this generate mule flow tool to generate the flows from the YAML file, which is there inside employee management system API, right? So let's approve. Okay. Yeah, it is saying it will first create the like XML file, main XML file, then it will generate the flows because the main file was not there. So yeah. Okay, let's approve. So it has created, right, this employee management sys.xml, like the main file. Now it is again trying to generate the mule flows. That will take some time. Yeah. So now it is saying it will like follow all the like rules which we have provided in the rule set, and then it will create the flows, and then it will call like open project tool to open the project. So perfect. The MuleSoft MCP tool has generated the flows and provided detailed instructions. I need to update all the required files. Let me start with updating employee management sys.xml file with the generated content. So yeah, it has started generating the flows and content, right? Yeah, it will create like all the flows as per our RAML specification. Whatever endpoints are there, it will create the flows. So okay, save it. So we can see, right, employee get flow, post flow, so put flow, delete flow, all the flows are there. Okay, it is saying now I need to update the global.xml file with the generated configuration. Let me read the current global.xml file to first understand its structure. Okay, no, I think you are. So I think okay. So because employee data system API is also there, right? So it is getting confused. It checked the global.xml for employee data sys, and it is saying okay, the global.xml is already there. So do I think you are referring different API? So sometimes yeah, we need to explain it that okay. So that's why I have not enabled this approve, right? Okay. So we see agent force is reading this file, right? So it read the file like from employee data sys, right? But we don't want to. We are working on employee. This we are working on employee management system API, right? No, I think you are referring a different API. You have to work on employee management system API. So yeah, we have to be careful and we have to see what it is doing, right? Okay, employee MGMTSys is already there, right? Okay, no, the project structure was already there. So generate the code inside the same project structure for employee management sys. Now I understand the employee management sys flows should be generated within the existing employee flows I already created in them. Now I need to create the required configuration. Okay, so now it is working on employee management system API only. Yeah, so it has started creating like other files. So also it is asking like do we want to generate like munit? So because we have munit tool also right inside this MCP server, so it is asking okay, do we want to create like munit flow munit test also for our flows which it has created. So it is saying okay, it will create one munit file, employee management sys munit file with this particular flow. So if we say approve, it will start creating like munit also. Yeah, so it is working. So we can see under the hood, right? So what tool it is using of, so MuleSoft MCP server is there, right? So what kind of tool it is using for a particular request, we can check that particular tool also. So okay, it has started creating units also for our flows which we have generated in our API, employee management system API. Because in our rule set we also provided that okay, create a comprehensive like readme document also. So once minutes and like other things are done, it will create a readme .md file also, and it will provide all the details what it has done. Yeah, so now it is working on this readme file of employee management system API. Yeah, so a README file is also generated, right? So it has created a README file for the project, and it has provided the details. Okay, what is the version, what is the protocol, what is the runtime which we are using in this particular Mule project, what is the Java version, and what all like operations are available, right? So get all employees is there, like create employees there. So all that it has like created a comprehensive README file for the project, like automatically, and it is also explaining the structure. Okay, what is the structure of the project? Yeah. Now once like everything is done, it is saying okay, so perfect. Now let me open the project to make sure all files are accessible in the workspace. It is trying to open the project. Okay, so it is saying the task completed. Yeah, so file is there, and in the source, So it is loading the like flow in the canvas. It is taking some time. We can also check like pom.xml and mule artifact.json also. Okay, it is using like our version only, mule version only, which we provided, and Java specific Java version has like 17 only. Yeah, so it is taking some time. Okay, we can ask like, could you deploy the application locally for testing? Until the flow is loading, we can, let's ask it to deploy the application so that we can do the testing. Okay, can you deploy the application for local testing? Okay, so it is working now. Let's see. Yeah, so for deployment, like local deployment, right? So it is saying it will use this run local mule application, this MCP tool, and let's approve the request. Yeah, fail to run application locally, so it is not able to find the Java path, so it will figure out the Java version automatically. Yeah, so currently it is searching the path in the wrong location. So in the rule set we have provided that like find the Java path first and then execute the like command for deploying the application. So it will find the Java path first, Java version it is checking, and then it will try to deploy the application again once it finds the available Java versions for the deployment. Yeah. So it has found, okay, Java 17 is installed. It is checking Java home environment and then it will try to deploy the application. Yeah, let me try to find the Java installation path using a different approach. So it has got the path. Yeah, so now it has got the path that Java JDK is here in this particular location, and now it will try to deploy the application. So yeah, it will take some time. Okay, it has started the application. It is starting the application. Let's see. Okay, initializing domain. Started domain. I think there is some issue. Okay, failed to deploy artifact. Configuration exception. Okay, employee management is invalid input. Okay, so our employee management sys.xml it has created inside employee data sys only. I think that's why it is creating problem. Okay, so maybe for now application deployment failed. Yeah, for now, remove employee management sys.xml from the code. Yeah, I understand the application deployment field likely due to conflicts or issues with the. So this employee management system API, right, which we were trying to create, it has created this configuration file inside employee data sys only. So let me remove this and then run this employee data sys only. Yeah, it will remove munit also. It will remove and then again it will try to like redeploy the application. Yeah, again it will try to deploy the employee data sys only. Yeah, okay, let's see. It will again start the like MuleSoft runtime and again it will try to deploy the application. Okay, let's see. Started domain, initializing the application, initializing the app. I think this time it is loading, starting the app. Yeah, so it has started the app. I think employee data says, yeah. So if we go and we try to hit the API health check endpoint, let's see, okay, server not available to handle the request. So I think it's still starting up. Yeah, application deployed. Let's see. Okay, I think there is some issue in the DB connectivity. Okay, so because this is not the API, right, which I was trying to create, so it is employee data system API only, which was there. So yeah, that has like DB connection in it, and I think the DB connection is failing. So that's why, yeah, API is not responding. It is saying down. Okay. Okay, but like it will create the code and it will act, so there might be issues because like the API which we were trying to create, right, employee management sys, like this agent got confused and it created that code inside employee data system API only, which we already had, right? So it worked on this only, employee data sys only, instead of, you see, employee management system MD also it created inside this employee data system API only, but it did not work on employee management sys. So if you see, this is like SRC main mule. Yeah, it doesn't have much code. It is empty only. So that's why, and there were DB connectivity in employee data sys, and that's why it is trying to do the DB connectivity. Okay. So but it will work, it will create the code. Sometimes it can give issues. So for now, maybe I think we can see the different MCP server which we have, right? So we saw that okay, there are two MCP servers. So which this MuleSoft MCP server, it comes by default, right? And then this Google Calendar MCP server, this I have installed from marketplace. So we can like install any available MCP server, and even we can configure our own MCP server also. We can bring our own MCP server also. So maybe let's try using this Google Calendar MCP server. Okay. So I'm giving a prompt, list all the events from my primary calendar uh, for Jan 2026. Okay, so I'm just giving the prompt, and agent is like smart enough. It will choose the MCP server itself. It will see based on the prompt which MCP server it has to use. Right, saying when we were giving the MuleSoft related prompts, it was choosing MuleSoft MCP server. But when we are giving like calendar related prompts, it will automatically select. Yeah, see, when we were giving MuleSoft related prompts, it was picking MuleSoft MCP server. It generated the specification, generated the code minutes also, right? But when we gave the prompt for the calendar, right, it has picked the Google Calendar MCP server itself. So similarly, if we have other MCP servers also configured and we give the prompt, it will accordingly select the MCP server. Now it is smart enough. It has also selected okay list calendar. So this is the tool which it should use for listing the events. So I'm approving the request. So there are multiple calendars. Yeah, in my like calendar. So it is saying okay, agent force want to use a tool on Google Calendar MCP server. So there are like multiple calendars, but Nitin Pathak, this one is my primary calendar, and I told that list all the events from primary calendar only. So once I approve the request, it will provide me all the events uh, for that particular like duration, right? So I asked it, okay, list all the events for the Jan 2026 month, right? So task completed. It has provided the events list from Jan 2026 from my calendar only. So these were events. So if I want to like update any of the event, or I want to create any event also, that also it will do. So whatever the like uh, whatever actions are there, right, whatever tools are available in that particular MCP server, agent can perform all those actions. So Anjali, do we have some more time? If I can show some other tools also, or like we don't have time?
I think it is already 9:10. If we can wrap up, that would be good.
Okay,
Maybe you can stretch for 5 more minutes, then
sure.
we can.
Okay, so let's say use any one tool also, right? So we use this list events, right, list events tool from the Google Calendar MCP server, right? So now let's say I want to create an event, right? I want to create an event for mule meetup for agent fabric uh, on uh, let's say Jan 26th January 2026 from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, let's see what it says. Okay, so it is saying Agent Force wants to use a tool on Google Calendar MCP server. So calendar ID, it has picked like our calendar ID summary. Also, it has provided, and then as we gave some description also, right? So it is providing description also. Meetup focused on agent MuleSoft Agent Fabric, and this is the time. So the time start time it has picked, and end time also it has picked. So if we approve, right? So it is using create event tool under Google Calendar MCP server. So event created, it has created the event, and task successfully completed. We can also go and we can see, yeah, see. So on 26 on 26th of January, right? On 26th of January, it has created an event like Mule Meetup for Agent Fabric, and the same time which we give for the event. So similarly, we can like use other functionalities, other tools also which are available, like updating the event or deleting the event. So yeah, like that's how it is. So we can bring any of MCP server. We can bring our own MCP server also. We can build and then we can use that MCP server with the agent, or we can like configure available marketplace MCP server also, and those can also work with the agent. So yeah, I think that's all. Anjali, if we have any questions, maybe we can take those questions for now.
For now, I have answered them over the chat. If anyone has any more questions, then please come. I
Yeah,
can
we
just
can export. You already answered, right? Yeah, we can export the code or projects which we are generating here to any point studio that is there. Is it a common waiting for flows to load this much time? No, it doesn't take this much time. So basically, we were not enabling that mode, right? So we were also reviewing, okay, what it is saying, and if we enable that auto approve mode in enabled mode, it will like start performing actions very quickly. So yeah, but sometimes it takes some time to figure out, right, what logic it has to give and how it should generate the flows. So sometimes it takes some time. You need to have access to Salesforce org as well. Yes, correct. So you need to have access to Salesforce org also. I think Anjali already answered it, but we need to have one Salesforce org also, and it must be connected with our trial anypoint platform account to work.
okay. Are we good?
I think we are good. If anyone has any question or want to like, discuss anything, maybe we can discuss.
Yeah. So I've already told them. If you have any questions, then don't forget to DM us on our LinkedIn, or you can also DM us over our chapter page of Faridabad. So yeah. And last but not the least, please don't forget to fill out this survey. It is very important for the community and for the MuleSoft. What went wrong and what went right, they want to know from the own developers of MuleSoft. So yeah, you just have to scan this QR code or go to this link, take a screenshot, or this will be uploaded over our chapter page as well. So it is very important. Please don't forget this. And I hope we are good. If we don't have any questions, then we can wrap up for the day. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you,
I
everyone.
hope you have learned a lot. Yep. See you at the next meetup. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.